Um, Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, kaofela. Let's back at afternoon. Is it after 12? Oh, now I thought afternoon was about after lunch. My name is Johnny Modiba. My name is Johnny Modiba from FP&M Seta. The reason I'm standing here in front of you today is because the FP&M Seta has called you upon to come and listen to what skills they give and why are we one of the Setas. I don't know if you have heard of the Setas as you are in the high schools, and why are we established as Setas, and what do we do as Setas? Is there anyone that could give me why are we called Setas? What is Seta? Every speaker, in fact, if I could take back from right at the initial stage when the CEO was doing her presentation, she spoke about the Seta and the skills development learnerships, that the Setas that are made up of sectors. Then, in this case, when we talk about the Seta, we talk about the Sector Education Training Authority. Sector means the sector where operating as an industry. Sector where you're operating as a company. Then sectors or Setas are made of sectors. We've got bank Setas, we've got fiber processing and manufacturing Seta that make you sit where you are seated today. We've got services Seta. We've got MICT Seta, which deals with the media, information and technology. We've got construction Seta. Then obviously where you're seated, your career is in line with a certain Seta. Then what I'm saying here, I'm standing in front of you telling you that the skills that you're going to do after you complete your matric, because I know all of you are going to complete matric. It's not a secret. I know that you know that you're going to complete matric, isn't it? Then when you complete your matric, your results are going to determine what is it that you'd like to do after then. And I'm sure where you are today, the reason we have called you in this workshop is to ensure that you start thinking of what is it that you'd like to become when you finish your matric. Finishing matric, in my understanding, you've got your own understanding, but I'll give you my understanding. When you finish your matric, you're not only going to, which is what you're going to do, you're not only going to look for jobs, but you're also going to create jobs. You're going to create job opportunities. Then what I'm trying to say here is when you select the career that you want to have and you want to have after you complete your matric, it's supposed to be the career that will enable you to find jobs. The career that will enable you, to come up with your own business, to create your own business. Creating your own business is creating jobs of people that will be working in that business. Then you can imagine if you were to create one business that will maybe somehow be able to employ 5 people, then obviously you'll be putting food at the table of 5 people that would have employed in your business. Then that's the reason why the Setas exist. The Setas exist to empower the economy. Empowering the economy is not only empowering, the whole economy as you know the economy. The economy is you. Then wherever you are seated, you are part of the economy. You have to be empowered to become employable, to become a business person. Then the skills that are given by the Setas are learnerships, are skills programs, are internships, are work integrated learning. You always hear people say work will. What is will? Will is, in terms of the abbreviation, is called work integrated learning. Then what you do is when you complete your tertiary education, you still have to be exposed to the workplace environments where you'll now be taught on what is exactly happening in terms of what you've done at university in the working environment. Then that is called will. Then every company would expect people that are well equipped for them to be employed within that company. Then obviously if you were to also become a business person, like people that you have seen here talking to you, like David Lally. He's talking about the interns, he's talking about Will, he's talking about all those type of courses that are supposed to be done for one to now be able to be employed in the sector. Then people need to go through the career path for them to be enabled to find jobs, to be able to open opportunities. Then in the FP&M Seta, we one of those setters that are mandated to play a role in terms of empowering you as you are seated here today, and you as you are attending your high school classes. Then attending the high school classes, in fact, you are being prepared to be able to be sustainable, to be able to, to survive all the situations that you'll be come across when you finish your high schools, when you finish your universities, when you finish your TVET college programs. Then you need to be well equipped. For you to be well equipped, you need to know which career are you supposed to be trained on, which programs are you supposed to be trained on to become whatever the type of the qualified person you'd want to become. Then at the FP&M Seta, we've got skills programs, like I said, we've got learnerships, we've got apprenticeships, we've got internships, we've got bursaries. If you take from what I've just said now, out of all the disciplines that I've just mentioned, you'd realize that when you complete matric, you need to do either of them to prepare yourself for the challenges that will be faced in this world. Then it doesn't mean that if you don't make it to university, it's done with your career. It doesn't mean that if you don't make it to the TVET colleges, is done with your career. You still have private institutions that would still give you the accredited programs. Then obviously those private institutions would have been accredited by the Seta. You still have internship programs that you would taken advantage of. Those programs are made to prepare you for this world that will be enabling you to find jobs and to also be able to enabling you to come up with your own businesses. Then at FP&M Seta, we spoke about the sectors that the Seta. I really want to get to the slide that will really entice you. If you look at the slides in front of you, it's in fact giving you the holistic picture of what are the sectors that exist in the FP&M Seta. Then we've done them in a picture, format, so that you would understand that those products, you use them in a daily basis in your as you wake up every day. You obviously use you wear clothes. They're part of the FP&M Seta. You use tables in your offices, in your classrooms, desks in your classrooms. They're part of the FP&M Seta. You definitely somewhere, somehow, use tissue paper. Tissue paper, even if you can come up with any other technology, I don't think you'd be innovative to come up with a methodology that will replace the tissue paper, because at some instances you really want to use the tissue paper. Then the tissue papers are made by people that are skilled to come up with a product called tissue paper. We come across tissue papers that have little puppies. Those puppies are not just something that you can, go and stem. There's machines that are operated to, for one to be able to produce those tissue papers. We talk about the Typec paper, the paper that you use in the printing machines. Those papers are under the FP&M Seta, are produced by the FP&M Seta companies. I could mention number of companies that you'd know that are really producing the tissue paper. That the screen, the tablet that you're using, the screen that is you're busy, so moving pictures from to the left, from the right to the left, from down to the to up. Those screens are part of the products that are produced under this FP&M Seta. Then there are skills that are made, there are programs, there are qualifications that are developed by the Seta, so that training providers, universities, institutions can be accredited against those programs, so that you could be offered training by those institutions to enable you to be able to be successful whenever you want to go or wherever you want to go after you complete those programs. Then that's exactly what the Setas are made to do. And in the very same process, they fund companies so that they can, enroll you guys to be trained on those programs. When I speak about the companies, obviously I could make an example of one of the speakers that came in front of you this morning, Mr. David Clary. Their program, the internship program, is funded by the Seta. Then for you to be, successful, it's not always about the university. We offer bursaries for those programs that falls under the FP&M Seta, for you to be, trained, to be taught, to be successful in the sector, and to also sustain this sector that we have under the FP&M Seta. The FP&M Seta, how it's done is all the sectors that we have are coming from, the value chain. It wasn't just made out of, nothing. The sectors that we have are made up of the value chain in the fiber processing and manufacturing sector. The value chain that we have starts from forestry. If you look at bottom left of your screen, you see that there are trees. Yes. In some provinces, more especially where I come from, we've got in the Limpopo area, we call them bilgoms. We see companies like Hans Marensky, Sapi, Mondi are planting those trees. They're planting those trees to prepare the future life of you guys, so that you can have paper, so that you can have tissue, so that you can have all those products that are produced by the tree. You get footwear manufacturing. The footwear manufacturing, kettles, all those sheep and everything, they live out of the plants and they grow up, the breeding. And when they breed, they slaughter them, they use the skin to produce the mohair, JC. The JC, they are made up of the material that is coming from the mohair. The shoes that you guys are wearing, the belts, are made up of those products. Then that's where we now, as a Seta, come up with the qualifications that would address the career path that you guys will have to undergo, so to become qualified and still come and operate and produce still clothes in our industry. The learnerships that we have are speaking directly to those products that I'm showing you on my slide. Then we've got learnerships in forestry, we've got learnerships in footwear, we've got learnerships in clothing manufacturing, we've got learnerships in the print media. I haven't spoken about the print media. We have learnerships. You've seen in our stores, you've seen PASA, publishers. We also have those programs under those things. Thank you very much.